So after having a big surprise season in 2021, the Atlanta Hawks had high expectations for themselves and from the fan base, the media, and others. Many people, including myself, saw the 2022 season as the year that the Atlanta Hawks would potentially take a leap as a young Eastern Conference contender and finish potentially within top 3 in the conference. But instead, it was the complete opposite. As the Hawks came out the gate slow, starting off for the first half of the season, as they had just a 17-24 record through their first 41 games of the year. But in the second half of the year, they improved, finished with a 23-18 record in their final 41 games, which ended up with them having a record of 43-39, and that was good enough for a play-in spot in which they won their way into the 8th seed by beating the Charlotte Hornets and then beating the Cleveland Cavaliers to get there. But unfortunately for them, the team had no chance at all to win versus the number 1 seed Miami Heat in the first round and lost in a gentleman's sweep of 5 games in a series that saw Trae Young average 15 points per game on 31% shooting and 18% from 3. So it was obvious that there were some things that the Hawks needed to tweak if they wanted to get to that contending level that they were at the year prior. So this offseason, the Hawks went and decided they needed 2 things. They needed defense, and they needed another star to complement Trae Young. And let's just say that they kind of got both of those things in one major acquisition by trading for first-time All-Star this past season in former Spurs guard DeJounte Murray. Now, we already talked in depth about this in my initial reaction to the move, so I won't waste your time. But in short summary, this was a move that was needed, and this was a move that helps the Hawks out for the now and for the future, as DeJounte Murray is only 25 years old, and he's going to obviously make the Hawks a better basketball team. But let's not forget, the Hawks did make some other interesting moves in the offseason. They traded away Kevin Huerter for 2 defensive-minded wings in Mo Harkless and Justin Holiday that fit this team's needs. Now obviously losing Kevin Huerter hurts a little bit, but I don't think it hurts as much than people might think, because even though he was a solid scorer and a solid shooter for this team, I think the Hawks are more than fine with guys like Bogdanović, Hunter, and 2022 draft pick AJ Griffin Jr. along with Holiday, all being guys that can hit shots from the perimeter at a pretty good rate. Now let's get to what this team should look like heading into next season. And starting with the starting 5, we're looking at a lineup of Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, DeAndre Hunter, John Collins, and Clint Capella. And to be honest, I think with the Murray and Trae backcourt, we'll probably see more Trae Young off the ball scenarios next season. And if it goes correctly, it should make them an even more high-powered offense, as they were already a top 10 offense last season. But now having 2 dynamic playmakers in Murray and Trae Young, along with some solid shooting in Collins and Hunter, and then obviously you have the lob threat of Capella, but don't forget Collins is also a lob threat as well. This offense is for sure going to be a top 10 to top 5 offense the next season most likely. But obviously the question is defense. This team should improve, but the question is how much, because they weren't good at all last year. But if I had to guess, with the additions of Murray, he'll probably be guarding the Currys, the Kyries, and the other elite guards, along with Hunter, who will guard the wings, and then Capella, who is one of the league's elite rim protectors. Then you also got the guys like Holiday, Harkless, and Okongwu off the bench. I think they should at very least be a middle-of-the-pack defensive team like they were in 2021. And if they can get back to the level, then that's good for them, because being a middle-of-the-pack defensive team might not win you a championship, but I don't think that's the end goal for this current Hawks team right now. I think they're taking step by step with their plan, and improving is a good thing. You know, being a middle of the pack defensive team should make them a playoff team if everything goes right. But let's also talk about the bench, because when you look at the bench, it was something that last year wasn't a major strong suit for this team. But I think moving Bogdanović down to the bench and having him play with Harkless, Holiday, Okongwu, and then also have Trae Young or DeJounte Murray on the floor with them at the same time, running the show, their bench should be solid. I'm not going to say it's going to be a top 5 bench in the league, but it should be a pretty decent bench heading into this upcoming season. So what is the end destination for this Hawks team? Is it an Eastern Conference Finals appearance? Or is it another year fighting for a playoff spot in the Eastern Conference? In my opinion, I think this is a team that can range from anywhere to 5th to 8th in the conference, depending on what happens throughout the course of the year, or whatever happens in the remainder of the offseason. But who knows what can happen for this Hawks team next season, as they have improved, they got 2 stars, they got some good role players along these 2 stars, and if they can get back to that level defensively, then this team should be a problem in the Eastern Conference next season. Anyways, that's going to do it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Link will be down in the description below. This has been a checkup where we talk hoops and hoops only, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.